with less than an hour to kick off time, excitement is mounting ahead of the clash between the Boks and the All Blacks. Joining me now in studio is SABC News sports reporter Mduduzi Ndlovu to further unpack what is to come at 1700 hours Central African time. All right, so Mdu, a very good afternoon to you. So first of all, I think it is very important to understand that unfortunately we do not have the rights, of course, of viewing for this particular game. Where can people watch the game?
Good afternoon to you, Alicia, and the viewers of SABC News. All I can say to you, Alicia, is that the match surely is starting at 1700 hours. And it's going to be an unprecedented victory for the Springboks if they win today. Why am I saying this? It will be their fourth in a row. So this group is tied with others that have won 3 times against the All Blacks in a row. So they are looking to make history by winning 4 times in a row. I'll take you. It was in London where the Boks won just before the Rugby World Cup last year. And then during the Rugby World Cup, we all know what happened. We beat the All Blacks again last week here in Johannesburg, Ellis Park. The Springboks were victorious, so they are looking for a 4th victory against the All Blacks in a row. So if that happens, it's going to be history for Siya Kolisi and this group of players. And unfortunately, SABC News and SABC Sports, we didn't get the rights as we did last week for the match that was at Ellis Park, but we'll be just dipping in and crossing, just updating the viewers right here on SABC News channel throughout the evening and during the course of the match.
All right, thank you so much for that clarity, Mdu. Now, this Freedom Cup, as you've just, of course, alluded to, has been a very elusive one for our captain, Siya Kolisi. Why is it so important that we clinch the win this particular time around?
This bunch of players have not won the Freedom Cup. Siya Kolisi, what he said in one of the clips that we had yesterday is that the nearest he got to the Freedom Cup was to walk past it. So they are looking forward to winning it today by beating the All Blacks in Cape Town. So we are all looking forward to that match kicking off at 1700 hours. And all eyes will be surely on Siya Kolisi and his team. There are changes that have been made by coach Erasmus. You see the return of fly half Henry Pollard. The experience, they are unquestionable. They fly half, there's number 10, which means such a Feinberg Mgomezulu is on the bench. And then we're going to see also Kaitley Arendse is injured, so he won't be part of this match. What happens there is Kenan Moody will be there taking on the wing, and then Valeri Leroux will be there at number 15. So it's just that Erasmus is always trying to keep the All Blacks guessing.
Absolutely. Speaking of the All Blacks, I understand they actually have the biggest fan base out in the Western Cape, outside of New Zealand. Quite interesting, right?
Of course. That's why it's going to be an interesting match, interesting encounter. The fan base is not only in Western Cape, also in the PE. Interestingly, in the PE, there's also a very huge following for the All Blacks. So that's why we just asked some of our reporters to be part and parcel of this build-up, and also after the match to give us the reviews from those fans of that follow the All Blacks, so that we can get the feel of the both sides. So yeah, we're expecting something that will be phenomenal, that will be happening at the DHL Stadium in Newlands this afternoon.
So, Mdu, as always, whenever there's a match of this magnitude, SABC News literally goes out and finds one of the greatest spots and fan parks where, of course, some of the die-hard fans can actually sit and enjoy the game. Is there something like that happening here in Johannesburg that you can just advise our fans, the super fans, to go and enjoy the rugby game at?
There are a number of sports that we usually go to, but unfortunately, due to capacity, we won't be having our cameras rolling there. But some people who've been following us at SABC News, they know that we have a certain sport we usually go to at Randburg, a certain sport we usually go to here, Melrose Arch. So people can still go there. There are big screens. They can be watching and following the team from there, supporting the team from afar while watching through the big screens in various watching areas. But we are just fortunate that in PE, we have a team there that will be giving us their live reviews from the fans. And also Vanessa Pune is there in Cape Town giving us and following what is happening from the as far as the fans are concerned.
All right. And then do I understand, of course, I mean, you were speaking and making reference to the changes within this particular squad, of course, earlier on when we started our interview. Is Magazola Mapimpi back? I know he's about to be a daddy.
Magazole Mapimpi is not part of this team. He won't be playing this afternoon and or this evening. So, yes, Magazole is focusing on his family and the team. I think the team believe, and he's also with the team in spirit and everything. He's just following the proceedings, and I think and believe the team and the coach are happy for him as he starts a family.
Don't go anywhere, Mdu, because I want to rope in, of course, our reporter Zolani Moya, who is, of course, in the hometown of our captain, Siyakolisi's hometown of Zwide, and he's at one of the fan parks or spots that we were speaking about, Mdu, and he joins us now at a Shisanyama. Zolani, a very good afternoon to you. What is happening there at that particular Shisanyama? How are the fans, of course, gearing up for this much anticipated clash between the Springboks and the All Blacks?
Yes, indeed, a very good afternoon. Yes, we are indeed coming to Lake Impala, which is one of the popular hotspots in the Nelson Mandela Bay region. It's situated at Jimpati, not too far from the New Brighton township. However, we are indeed expecting an epic battle between the All Blacks and the Springboks in less than an hour from now on. Well, this place is quite empty at the moment, but as time progresses, we are indeed expecting hundreds of rugby supporters. With me here, I am joined by the...
All right, unfortunately, because of audio challenges, we're going to have to come out, of course, out of that particular crossing with SABC News reporter in Zwide, the hometown of our Springbok captain, Siyakolisi. He was, of course, just about to speak to a guest, but I do still have with me in studio SABC News' sports, Mduduzi Ndlovu, who's further unpacking this game for us. So, Mdu, talk to us about the squad. Back to that squad. I mean, what are some of the exciting changes that we can look forward to?
As I said earlier, Alicia, that mostly is the backs whereby we're seeing the return of Kenan Moody. That was motivated mostly by the injury that was incurred by Kathleen Arendse, who did very well, who played very, very well when we were in Australia, and he also did very well when we were playing against the All Blacks right here in Johannesburg at the Ellis Park Stadium last week, where we won in the 11th hour. I don't know why the Boks do this to us. The president once said, that's what they always do to us, winning in the last minute when others are losing hope and others are like, okay, we're going to lose this one. And then Rassi and his boys, they just come out. They just go take it over the line always, like they were doing throughout the Rugby World Cup, if you remember very well, winning in the last minute. That is,
Speaking of taking it over the line, hopefully Mbonambe is going to give us unquestionable touchdowns and tries, of course, in this particular clash in closing.
The forwards, there we are counting on. He is now a fan favorite. We talk of Oxenchair, he's there. We also talk of our Elizabeth, huh? That is Elizabeth. Even Elizabeth it's there among the forwards there for the Springboks. We are just counting on those guys to be holding the fort for the Springboks as we want this successive fourth victory for the Boks against the All Blacks.
All right.
It's promising to be nothing but fireworks this come 5 o'clock.
Fireworks indeed are expected from the DHL Stadium out in Cape Town at 5 o'clock. What, of course, that all-important kick-off between the All Blacks as well as the Springboks takes place.